When 2020 hit, right in the middle of when it hit, when everything was locked down, I saw Americans abroad pack their bags, and they were on a plane so fast it made you spin. They were gone, they were home. But you know what? The ones that were married to foreigners, not them. Oh, no you don't, not so fast. You gotta wait 1.6 years. What? Yeah, and that's if we allow you. Border discrimination, you're not being told. There's so much out there that is its purpose, if you're not careful, and you know, it's sometimes not super clear, although a lot of people do see it, that it's designed to divide people and cultures. I just wanted to give you that quick disclaimer on our videos, because our videos are not about that. They never are. They're always about inclusion, including people to get on a thought process that is shedding light on a subject. So that's wanting to bring you in and saying, look brother, did you know this is happening, and this, you know, here's a different way of looking at this or whatever. And so it's a conversation about including, not excluding. Before traveling abroad, by the way, welcome to our channel, Frank and Angie, world travelers, retire early lifestyle proponents as a lifestyle. Before we went abroad, I used to occasionally run into this thought that going abroad broadens your mind. Actually, after being abroad, there's always something that at least most of us, maybe all of us, can have our minds open to. For example, the idea of racial profiling or discrimination. You know, a lot of our people that have been on our channel know that as world travelers, we've learned to, even as temporary travelers, meaning you land in a place, you're only there for a few weeks or something, even then we still have learned how to branch out a little bit. In other words, we don't exclude the local population. In our travels, you'll look at our whole channel and all our videos, it's all about being part of the local culture as the local culture, even though we are foreigners. And in that sense, therefore, we're not sticking with our own kind or our own color necessarily or any of that. I mean, when we first moved to Cuenca, Ecuador, we were like the first ones to go outside of the Gringo area and make videos about it. And we were warned, oh, you know, you better not do that, you're gonna get, you know, and I'm not saying there weren't some challenges, but we, by the grace of God, we overcame challenges. This may sound somewhat cliche, but we overcame them with love. True story. Anyway, and so when I bring up race on this channel, it never has been from the perspective of dividing people. And I think that ever since 2020, a lot more people have come to the understanding that that whole theme was planned and designed in order to divide and conquer. This is what we're doing. We're taking over. And so yeah, we've lived in Panama and Panamanian neighborhood. We've done it in Ecuador and pretty much everywhere else. I'm getting to a point here that I have personal experience in discrimination. I mean, discrimination, if you just watch TV or listen to certain channels, it's all one way, but discrimination is in the world and everybody suffers it in one way or another. And that's my whole point, saying that I've gone abroad and I've suffered that. And this video is not about poor me, I've been discriminated against. It's about, yes, discrimination does exist, but with love, we can conquer anything. That's what, you know, we've been saying on our channel. So I needed to say all of that so I wanted to preempt the video. Preempt. When did that get started? Okay, long story short, what's immigration got to do with this? Well, there's not really a lot of immigration videos from the point of view of opening up the viewer's mind to what's happening. We've made some, but this does not in any way mean there aren't a lot of people suffering. And we know the stories that we see every day. We see the stories, and it's not something that we want to minimize or act like no big deal or something. Any amount of human suffering needs to be out in the open and discussed, because that's how we eradicate evil, is by putting it out in the open and exposing it. At any rate, the discrimination is this. There's a lot of stories out there, and they are starting to trickle out. There's a particular American lady somebody made us aware of, and it's amazing. She gets plenty of views, and I'm really happy that the information is coming out into the open.
Good morning from Mexico. So probably the most common question that I get asked across any platform, or even before I even started doing this, was, but if you're a US citizen, doesn't he just automatically get citizenship? No. This is a huge misconception, guys. This is not the case. You have to go to an interview, and then that person in that interview decides whether or not you get to enter the United States, or you get to obtain your legal status there. As much as we want them to look at us and our family members as human beings, a lot of the times that's not the case. It's very black and white for them. And so one of the best references I've heard is that we're just numbers in a room. So when I say that the immigration system in the United States is broken, I wholeheartedly mean that.
I'm saying that little by little, this subject is going to get exposed. And I think that a lot of people are now, more than ever before, aware of this theme, this subject, they say this in Latin America, subject, that of government overreach, where the government oversteps their boundary. The government is instituted among men to, from the consent of the governed, first thing, for the purposes of protecting life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. So those are the two things about government. And so anything that overreaches, that's what a constitution is for, is to say, no, you've overstepped your boundaries. I've had the opportunity now, from being abroad 10 years, to look at the constitutions of some of these other Latin countries. And guess what? These countries have it in writing in their constitutions that the family is protected and facilitated. In other words, they see families as something worth protecting and facilitating and promoting. Okay, there's no such articles in the U.S. Constitution per se, but the protections are there nonetheless. The U.S. Immigration Department is basically telling U.S. citizens / families who gets to keep their family. Now, what kind of a government does that? Where's the serve and protect in that? Now I know some of you that aren't a little bit slanted in the way you think, slanted towards only this particular way of thinking, if you don't have respect for family values. If that's you, don't bother leaving a silly comment, because on this channel we respect family values, and that's why I told you that they're respected in the constitutions of a lot of these Latin cultures. And that's why when you come to these Latin cultures, people say they're more family oriented, and then you see that it's actually in writing in the constitutions that the family is to be protected. So I know some people need more detail. If you haven't been part of this channel and haven't seen the other videos, I mean, how much more clear do you have to be that people are being told you can't bring your family, you can't go back to the US with regulation. This is how governments overreach and overstep their boundaries. They do it with regulation. When you still have any kind of semblance of law abiding, it's done with regulation. They overreach with regulation. And most Americans don't know that there is enough regulation. I say enough. There has been regulation upon regulation upon regulation piled on top of Americans that are married to foreigners, so that there are so many hoops to jump that many Americans now, this is what I'm telling you, many Americans are now blocked from going back to their own country because of their families. These aren't people, somebody comes up, what about these sham marriages? So is that the only way to look at things? Is because if those are a minority, you want to punish the whole class because one kid did something wrong? No, of course not. That's what the Constitution and freedom's all about, is that you leave the innocent for free. You know, you're innocent till proven guilty. Obviously, clearly, you know, most families are real families. You can tell a real family. They've been married a long time. They got children. They're U.S. citizens. Hello, you know. I mean, you know, you've got suspicion of fraud. Somebody that got married 3 months ago, they're still innocent till proven guilty, but you might want to look at them a little bit closer. You might want to make them wait a little bit longer. But the way the system is right now, everybody has to wait. Whether it's a guy that got married 3 months ago, or whether it's a guy that's been married 40 years, it's all the same. Hey, you're a foreigner, you know. You could be married 40 years to a U.S. citizen and have, you know, U.S. citizen children, and they still treat you like a number. Like your family doesn't matter. Like you don't have a family. And, you know, I saw when 2020 hit, right in the middle of when it hit, when everything was locked down, I saw Americans abroad pack their bags, and they were on a plane so fast it made you spin. They were gone, they were home. But you know what? The ones that were married to foreigners, not them. Oh, no you don't, not so fast. You gotta wait 1.6 years. What? Yeah, and that's if we allow you. How about this? Here's a brilliant idea. Let me know if you think it's brilliant. Your door to your home is either open or closed. How about this? It's open or locked. It's locked to the thief. The lock is for the thief. The lock is not for your friends, right?
The lock's for the thief, not for an honest person. What does that mean? Well, it means that an honest person's not going to trespass, but the thief will, and so that's who the lock is for. We need locks on our doors for the dishonest people, not honest people. And that's what the courts are for. They're for the unbelievers, in the sense as the unbelievers, the ones that won't govern themselves according to the perfect law of love, to love your neighbor as yourself. The courts are for those people, the ones that go around damaging other people, hurting other people, defrauding other people. That's what they're for.
So that's what the lock is for, that's what the law is for, that's what government regulation is for, and it's not for the way it's being used this day and age to control and abuse people and subject them to the kind of abuse no people should be subjected to, regardless of the color of their skin or their nationality, you know, or this kind of thing. So what's this got to do with retire early lifestyle at home or abroad? Hey, when was the last time you went and looked? Lots of Americans are married to foreigners. Yeah, they are. This is year 2000. More and more. There's been more travel, more airlines, more movement internationally, more marriages. And they're real marriages, real people. So I am here today to encourage you, if you see an overreach, even if you're not a victim of it specifically yourself, get involved and help people support right. Help people support doing good, doing right, doing well, according to established principles of good. All right, and with that, that's my little tiny little sermon. You didn't know it, did you? Or did you? Leave us a comment below, help the algorithm out. Thanks for coming to our channel, and have a wonderful day.